Afternoon and welcome to our first episode of Edu Steps Live here at SED. It took me a while to try to figure it out.
For the new year.
For the new year, fresh for the new year for 2026. Olay Shorunke, co-founder of Your Success here with Festus Amoye and our guest. Festus, how you doing today?
I'm good, man. I'm good as always.
Absolutely. First one for the new year.
But also, it's February.
It's February.
And so we're celebrating Black History Month.
Yes, absolutely.
And so with us being able to celebrate, I love it, Black History Month, we want to honor some living legends and give them their flowers for the work that they have done and also the work that they're continuing to do. So I'm looking forward to the episode.
Absolutely, totally agree. So with that being said, let me go ahead and give the intro so we can get right into our intro. Dr. Omobola Oyeleye is an associate professor at the Chiswick School of Nursing at UT Health Houston, where she teaches in the Department of Undergraduate Studies. With a uniquely interdisciplinary background spanning education, law, and nursing, Dr. Oyeleye brings a powerful systems-level perspective to healthcare leadership and professional development. She holds a Doctor of Education, a Juris Doctor, and the Master of Science in Nursing, along with certifications as a registered nurse, a certified nurse educator. Over the course of her career, she has served as a K through 12 educator, attorney, and mediator, specializing in disability rights, clinical nursing, and nursing faculty membership. In addition to her academic and professional accomplishments in the United States, Dr. Oyeleye is the proprietress of Grace Day School in Ijebu-Ode, Nigeria, a values-driven institution built on the belief that education must develop thinking, reasoning, and confident leadership. At Grace School, examinations emphasize system analysis and problem solving over memorization, and leadership is treated as a daily responsibility rather than a title. The school fosters a culture where students are encouraged to question thoughtfully, think independently, and express themselves with clarity and courage. Grounded in strong Nigerian and Yoruba cultural identity, Grace Day School is committed to raising bold, principled, and intellectually confident young leaders. Dr. Oyeleye's scholarship and professional work focuses on healthcare quality, nursing regulation, disability advocacy, and ethical practice. Across every arena she serves, she is passionate about empowering individuals to lead with competence, integrity, and clarity in complex systems. Her career reflects a deep commitment to education, advocacy, and excellence, making her a compelling voice on leadership, resilience, identity, and purpose-driven success. I will also go out to say that she was not in favor of a long intro, but we wanted to make sure that we gave proper acknowledgement to the great work and wonderful things that she's done throughout her life. And also as a shining example for young people like us and those of you that are watching for the great things that you can do when you are purpose-driven. So with that being said, it's our wonderful honor to welcome Dr.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me. Let's get into it.
Yes, thank you for joining us. So we appreciate you so much. And again, I think enough can't be said about, I think, the journey that you've taken that other, I guess a term could be our most recent ancestors have taken to come from abroad to the United States. Could you tell us a little bit about your education and your upbringing back home, and then the journey of education and how it brought you to the United States?
Yes, sure. What education has been my life. My father was a school teacher. He taught mathematics at the government college in Ibadan. He taught geometry. And then after that, he went into politics. And even while he was doing all of that, and he was very successful at it, but then his heart was also at home. So he started a school in our hometown in Ondo. People call it a private school, but not in the sense of today. It was privately started, privately funded, but publicly attended. So he wasn't charging fees. And one of the newspaper articles, this was in 1954, one of the newspaper articles of that time asked him, why did you do this? And my father said, I saw a need in my community and I decided to meet that need. So I was an all-boys school, and they had a board, a community board, that helped to handle the school. And he did go higher in Nigerian politics. So see, that's the background with which I grew up. And that was my very first school that I went to. I think I was 3 years old. But it wasn't because I was ready for school. It was because it was right across the street from my father's house, because it was like personal land that he used. So my mother would say, please get out of here. She's too much trouble. She's too much. So I thought I was in school practically. They found me a desk somewhere. I didn't learn anything because I'm 3 years old. I'm just there to waste time. But that's really my very first foray into education, being done by my family. And then way before I was born, my mother also taught for a short period of time. So that's how I grew up. And so you might say it runs in my blood. My older sister is a professor. My other deceased brother is a professor. So I think that's where that came from. So I went to the then University of Ife, got a degree in education with a minor in English. And so I was teaching, and it's my passion. I do well in it. But then, see, I got this bug in my head. It says, what are you going to do for the rest of your life? There's no money in it. And one of my aunties came to visit, and she was retiring after 20 years. And she told me how much she was making. I was like, no, I ain't going to be here 20 years making that kind of money. So that was when I started to plan what I called my escape. And I thought, no, the way to go is to start a business. So I'm going to go to the US. I had visited the US 2 or 3 times, just on holidays. So this time I thought, I'm going to go to school. I'm going to learn cosmetology and fashion designing. And then I'm going to come back to Nigeria and just blow up in business. True, I did cosmetology, only to find out that it's not my calling. I'd practiced cosmetology for a full week. Yes, a full week with the license and everything. Wow. So I went through the school, I got licensed, I got a job. My first week is when I realized, no, I don't have time for people who come with 2 spoons of hair and they want you to make them look like Diana Ross. Not me. I don't do magic. And I'm not going to stand here and be listening to stupid conversation. So I quit.
Oh, wow.
So I quit. So now I knew I had to go back to school. Because I knew that I was now sure, without a doubt, that education is what I am meant to do. HISD was hiring what they called alternative certification programs. So I saw it in the newspaper. I canceled whatever appointments I had that day. Wow. I went. And I sat for the interview. They looked at my transcripts and they said, why do you want to be a teacher? I'm like, y'all are wrong. I'm already a teacher. I just need to be able to do what I did there here. So I got hired, finished the certification program, and started a master's program in education at U of H. Somewhere in between there, I'm like, and people say, you should go to law school. You're really very clear-minded and all that. And I thought, at this time, I was married. And then I thought, yeah, why don't I go? I took the LSAT, got admitted to U of H. I started law school. Wow. In the middle of law school, I realized that, this thing is hard. People are mean. I'm not doing this thing anymore. So I went back to teach. See, I always went back to teach because whatever else I'm doing right now, education is where my heart is. So I took a year off and then I went to see one of my professors and I was like, I hate this place. Everybody's mean. And he's like, listen, if you don't get this degree, 15 years from now, you'll run into someone who finished, who's not even as smart as you are. And finish it, you're the only person who can decide what kind of lawyer you want to be. You will not be able to decide if you're going to be the ethical type of lawyer you want to be if you don't already have the degree. I'm like, oh yes, I'll be back next semester. So I went and I finished and I started practicing disability rights. So I'm firmly practicing law now. I had somewhere there, I had my daughter. And in that moment, again, now I have this child. I want to raise this child by myself. I want to, again, teaching is calling to me, but now for my kids. So I quit legal practice. I stayed home. I homeschooled my kids. Wow. And in the middle of that is when I thought, okay, I'm tired of hanging with mothers who only talk about what Johnny spilled up this morning. Yeah. How can I get back into where my brain is working? Yeah. So I'm like, okay, go back to school. Take your course here, take your course there. Okay, I did that. I'm like, no, don't waste your time. You are likely to go back to practicing law. What was it that was very necessary when you were practicing? Disability rights, you have to understand the condition, the medical issue, and then you argue. And I felt that I was slow on the medical issue. I'm gonna go to nursing school, I said. So I got admitted to UT, the same school where I teach now. And it was an accelerated program. In about a year, we were done. Boom, boom. So as soon as I finished nursing, I know you probably can think, what else? I'm thinking, how am I going to teach it? Yeah, so this is nice and wonderful, and I'm like, no. So now I have to be able to teach. So that led to now my second master's in nursing, because in order for you to teach, you have to have a bigger degree. So now at this point, bachelor's in education, master's in education, and I have a law degree, and then I got that bachelor's in nursing, and then the master's in nursing, so I can teach nursing. So this is how I got to that. So when I decided I'm going to teach nursing, I'm like, no, you ain't going to be teaching nursing at the junior college. This is what the masters will condemn you to. For the most part, it's going to be junior college. You want to teach at the highest level of nursing. What you going to do now? Go get a doctoral degree. And so that's what happened. So I got my doctoral degree in education at this time. I could safely teach in education school, because now you realize I have 3 degrees in education, just education. And then now I have a master's in nursing and a doctoral degree. So I'm like, nursing looks like it. Got my first job in it, and that's how I stayed. That's my path to where I am sitting here today.
Wow.
Hey, LYS fam. It's Olay once again. You know, these days, many families are busy but want personalized attention. We at Laddering Your Success understand this dilemma and have created a unique approach to help guide you and your child with personal development tools to build a life of purpose. This intimate approach is helpful for those parents that feel the need to have a focused heart-to-heart conversation deciding on the next steps after high school. We provide individual post-secondary planning, virtual customized college and career counseling, and scholarship guidance and planning. Our one-on-one sessions are tailored to each individual student to maximize their potential in the post-secondary realm. With our guidance, your child will be able to make their dreams a reality. Don't wait. Simply go to lys.com/parents to get your copy today. Now let's get back to business on this podcast.
So technically saying you have 2 doctorates, because
I do. Yes. Yes. Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Okay, and then still in this kind of milieu of education, it seems, did you practice nursing for a little while?
Oh, I did.
You did? Okay.
Oh, I did.
So how long did you practice nursing?
If you don't count all the breaks, my first long stretch into bedside nursing, you're saying, because I'm still practicing nursing.
Oh, yes, correct, as an educator, true.
Okay, yes, I'm still, but so bedside would have been 5 years. I took a break and then I did a year.
Wow. So many people struggle with education and also what to do after high school. And it seems like you found your niche, but also you had a very varied path. Could you talk to us about discovering that sense of purpose and also the path variety? Because again, here in the US, so much education is going to student loan debt, all of those different types of things. So could you just elaborate on that? Talk to us about that a little bit.
As far as student loan debt, I cannot say anything about that. All this education I got was self-sponsored.
Wow.
But here is I can only tell about my life. Generally, you listen to speakers that say, write a goal, 5-year goal, 10-year goals. That has not been the pattern of my life. I will tell you the pattern of my life. It is, what is my next logical step? You see, some people want to be on this step, and they're looking up there, and then in trying to look up there, you're looking left and right, not sure. Where I am today, because my philosophy is, if I'm climbing, when I get onto the next step, I see broader, I see more, I see more clearly. And then if I take the next step, that's really how my life has patterned. I never set out to do the only thing I set out to do in life was that first degree in education.
Wow.
The rest of it was, now I am here. What's the next thing? And I'll give you a good example. I finished my doctorate while I was out in Virginia. But my husband and his job were now moving back to Texas. In fact, when I left Texas, I didn't have my master's in nursing. Hadn't even started my doctorate. But now we're going back to Texas. And I'd been working in Virginia. And I said, this is how. I have all these degrees, probably more than anyone in any school in Texas that I'm going to. You need a job. So what is the logical thing for you to do that puts you in the market, that sets you apart from all these other people? Because these people, all you need is one job and they don't need all these your degrees. So what are you going to do? So I looked at what I was already doing. What is like the latest thing in nursing? And it's still selling to this day, 10 years later. It was simulation, clinical simulation. It was new. And I was already doing it in my other school. But I did not have the certification. See, I also had to learn the language of the market. It's going to take me 5 pages to describe to people that I know simulation. But if I have the certification, no need to talk. That speaks for you. So I'm like, okay, how do people get certified in simulation? I figured it out and I looked at what they needed. I'm like, oh, I'm already it. So I sat for the exam, passed it, and now I could put it on my CV. When I got ready to move to Texas, I called somebody at UT. I'm like, I'm coming back to town. I need a job. She said, send me your CV. I sent you. I said, listen, call the head of department because I think. So within 3 days, I had an appointment. Wow. I did the interview. I came in. It was 7 months into my job that the head of department told me that the reason they called me for an interview, the reason they hired me was my certification, which I had only just gotten 6 weeks ago.
Wow. And that speaks to the power of being certified. And obviously, you said speaking the language of
the market.
The marketplace.
Yeah.
There's being licensed, there's being certified, and there's being degreed. Can you talk to us about, obviously because you're teaching students now, how you maybe coach them in career or anything like that? If you do that, I don't know if you do.
What I say to students is what I have just said, because I can only use my life. If you're the type that wants to set 5-year goals and then start today to plow towards it and you make it good. But right now, there are things that are clear to you right now. And sometimes it's a step to the side. So you can see what's going on in that place. So you can meet more people in that area. Sometimes I tell them, there's this interview they invited me for, but I really don't want the job. I'm like, go. Yeah. If there are 2 people who interview you now, there are 2 more people you now know. 2 more people in this world who know you. 2 more people who may not have a position for you right now, but may have a position for you tomorrow. And now they know you. That's another. The second thing is, from the questions they ask you, you learn what that area is about. And maybe there's a thing or 2 that's missing from your own story. Put it there. Even if you have 2 hours, go for the interview. Find out what the rest of the world is doing. So that's been my consistent thing. I have students who call me, or even actually former students who call and say, I got this new job and now they want me to be the manager of this and that. And I've only been there 6 months and I really don't think I'm ready. I'm like, honey, take it. It's not a marriage. If you take it, you'll be surprised. You may be successful at it. If you take it and it's not your cup of tea, now you know one thing that is not your cup of tea. But if you take it and you do it 6 months, a year, 18 months, you will never look for another job that's less than manager position. But it's what's in front of you right now. What is the next step I can take that makes me more visible to the world? So, you know how people say, I am on LinkedIn. I am happy that I have now been certified with. Let me tell you, there was a young lady I told to get certified. She got certified. She passed the she put the thing on her. 106 messages came into her thing the first week.
Wow.
So I'm like, no, don't get crazy about it. But now sit back and say, this is
which one?
Which one? Which one?
I want to talk a little bit about Grace Day School. Before we get there was something that you said, you kept going back to that was so powerful. And that was at the heart, at your heart, everything, all roads always came back to teaching. And I think the issue here in America right now for a lot of teachers is they're stuck, right? They're overwhelmed. They've hit a point where they've done all they can do. For some of them, there's a ceiling, and they're really trying to navigate and figure out, how do I find the next thing to do? What's the next thing? I love how you took teaching and you used teaching to go into nursing. You used teaching to go into getting your JD, to just doing all these different things. Every step was, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to teach you how to do it. What are the things, how did that come for you? And what are some things that like teachers today can take to use that as they move forward?
There is a reason that teachers are teachers. Not everybody that's in the classroom is really wired. There are some of us who are wired to where even if I run into someone at the grocery store and they're doing something or saying something that I have an opinion about, I'm going to share it.
Yeah.
See, that's the wiring.
Yeah.
And people run into me and say, are you a teacher? Are you because and my children roll their eyes, oh my goodness, okay, there she comes again. I get into people's business, it's the teacher in me. But for those of us, for people who, as much as you love teaching, there are many things you can do. It does not have to be in that ISD environment. But never be afraid to add to your skill. Because many people come and they say, this is all I have to do. Okay, I'm going to tell you now. With all the things I've just told you, only this past week I was thinking, I read that thing, something in my MIT, offering some 6-week or 8-week program on AI and whatever. And I'm thinking, yeah, that's an area I'd like to know more about. I say that to say, don't be afraid to add to your skill. So if you're a teacher and you're stuck, let me tell you, if you're a teacher, you're a manager, you are a counselor, there's a lot you can do. But I say, look around and see, what is of all these things that I have, which one gives me a next logical step that moves me up just a little bit? While I was in the classroom, I did a principalship certification, just in case it comes up. I was in the middle of trying, do I want to do superintendent? I'm like, Bola, come on, leave it alone. You're not going to be doing that. That puts you too far away from the classroom. But always saying, I'm the queen of pivot. That's another thing people know about me. I'm the queen of pivot. If I lose a teaching job in the morning, I will get a nursing job by afternoon. But it's deliberate. When you have no choice, then you take anything that comes your way. When you're not educated, you have nothing. That's when your boss wants to sexually assault you or sexually harass you, but you have nowhere to go. It's what makes you take. So for me, early in life, I thought, okay, all right. If nursing is not helping, oh yeah, there's that area of public health that I am also certified in. Maybe I can go look in there. But yeah, but I've never needed all of them at any given point. But yes, and I feel that we must, because life turns. The degree you get today, the world may not like it tomorrow. Place yourself in a way that you can pivot. You're not always going to like what you're doing, but you're going to be making a living. That's the difference.
Hey, LYS fam. It's Olay. Thanks so much for listening to LYS. I just wanted to take a quick moment to talk to the parents. That's right, mom and dad. Parents, prepare your child for their best educational fit after high school with our comprehensive LYS Parents Guidebook. Our helpful guide includes a range of activities designed to help you better understand your child's unique gifts and abilities. Additionally, we provide valuable insights into the student loan debt crisis and offer practical tips on how to avoid accumulating large amounts of debt. Our ebook also includes a wealth of information on scholarships, grants, and payment exemptions that can help guide your child towards a bright and successful future. With our expert guidance, you can rest assured that your child is well prepared to make informed decisions about their education and career path. Don't let your child's future be in jeopardy. Invest in their future today by downloading the LYS Parents Guidebook. Simply go to lys.com/parents to get your copy today. Now let's get back to the show because you know it's some good topics.
And I think that's a great way to answer the second part of the question too. Is all that experience, I think, led to you owning the school. So could you talk to us about the school, maybe some of the operations of the school and things like that?
The school came to me, is really what happened. But before that, 10 years before that, I've also been the person who, I'm not one of the people who, Nigeria is bad, Nigeria is terrible. And my first question is, please tell me in a few sentences what you have contributed to that community. Yeah. Are you like one of people like me? You got all you could, you bounced. And then you look back now and you're holding your nose. That same cesspool is where you came out from. So figure out your own corner in there and make a difference. So we moved to Europe. I was going to move back to, my husband was coming back to the States. And we said, no, I'm not going to come to the States. I will go to Nigeria. I've wanted to start a school. There's so much I can do. There's so much I know. There's so much I can give back. So I shipped a whole container of stuff back to Nigeria. And then I'm like, no, I want a school. I don't want to start one. Because then you get the land. And then you choose the uniform. And the ministry comes and bother you. I'm an educator. I don't do that. So I locked everything up in a storage somewhere. I went away. That was it. And I forgot it. And I went with my career here. And I'm like, wait a minute. I can get to whatever level I want to in this country. Let's go. Then one of my in-laws called me. We chatted. And we were getting off the phone. And she said, we're trying to sell my mom's school. I knew her mom. I knew the family well. And I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll help you find somebody. Everyone that I spoke to, I said, there is a school. Would you like to buy it? There were two different answers. Some of them would say, I'm not an educator. Why are you doing it? Why don't you buy it? And I'm like, no, the Lord wants me to stay in this place and do whatever I'm doing. And then, or somebody would say, no, I don't have any money. But if I had money, I could loan it to you. Why don't you do it? I'm like, okay. But I had already made up my mind that I'm just going to set all that aside. So this was my first test. I talked to my husband. If this is going to fly, this is where it will take off. If it's going to fail, it's going to be right here, this conversation. Why? Me, I go with my passion, my emotions. Oh, it's a school. So I know that's what I would tend to do. My husband, on the other hand, would say, okay, let's do a feasibility study. After that, we do a market survey.
Oh, wow.
And then after that, you create a PowerPoint. Wow. And then I would like to see your spreadsheet. So I knew if he started with that, I'm not doing it. So on this day, I'm like, how do you think one would find money to buy a school in Nigeria? Notice I said one would. So he gave me all the theoretical ways in which it can happen. After all, I haven't said it's me. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, but what if it's me? He asked me how much it was. But finally, I said the amount is okay. This is all God. And he said, my engineering husband said this. We have some money in this account. Then we have some other in this account that we can convert. And I'm like, yeah, but we're still short like $20,000. I can borrow that from my 401k. Wow. That was the whole discussion. Wow. The next thing I knew, I'm calling the people. Wow. I'm saying, I want to do it. Yeah. And from the moment of the first conversation till I went to Nigeria to pay for it, all of 6 weeks. To this day, he has not told me to bring a spreadsheet. Wow.
Oh, man.
So
what have you learned now, obviously being the proprietor of a school and especially just basically doing diaspora engagement. What are some of the things that you've learned, and what would you tell the next generation, people our age, who are considering diaspora engagement on the continent? What are some of the things that you've learned and that you'd like to share with us?
I didn't realize how Nigerian I am. You've lived abroad for decades. You've absorbed cultures and ways. When you are, for me in Nigeria, the air is different. There is a feeling that this right here is mine, my home. And what that allows me to do is be able to go through hardships. Because I now stand where I stand now and I look at whoever would have been looking at me 50 years ago. There is no way they saw this future, yet that future was there. So for me, it is me now standing there looking at all these young kids and saying, among some of these kids that we don't know yet, that the hardship of that, because you have to realize, my father died when I was, what did I say, when I was 4. My mother died when I was 13. So there is no way anybody saw this. So for me, going back is to say, now every little thing I have gotten here, it's magnified at home. When I speak to groups, I say something that I think is benign, and they're going, what? So for me, what I have learned is the power of the littlest thing that I have. Because I'm saying these kids, the same way nobody would have seen this future that I have now. Somewhere here is a physicist, Nobel Prize winner. Someone here is a scientist that's going to change the world. Someone here is an artist that's going to just bless the world with their gifts. So for me, I have learned that in what is them is me. That's what I meant. I didn't realize how Nigerian. I've been dedicated to every single profession that I have done. But this school hits differently.
To that point, I'm going off the script a little bit. Forgive me, Festus, but it was just so powerful when we were talking about this. Can you talk a little bit about the value of education from a Nigerian perspective and why things like teaching seem to come so easily for Nigerians? Is it growing up Yoruba? We talk a lot about the oral traditions, and Festus and I were having this conversation that a lot of what Central Yoruba, a lot of the history that my parents, our parents learned, they didn't learn in school. They learned at home. And you talked a lot about it, 3 years old, having a this at the school. I would just love for you to talk a little bit about just the history of education and knowledge from a Nigerian perspective, and because you mentioned you didn't realize how Nigerian you were, and so if you could just speak to a little bit of that connection.
Education has always been, still is, the gateway out of whatever situation you're in. And it doesn't really, and we're not talking just, for many people in Nigeria, it's getting the degree, right? And then you can build on that or not. As a Yoruba person, as you have said, teaching for us is cultural. If your child is misbehaving in the marketplace, 15 mothers will beat him silly.
Don't bring back my past.
So we don't just have a responsibility to our own, we have a responsibility to our community. And I think by my family history and what I have gone and done, and what my siblings are also doing in giving back to the community, comes from the sense of we're not in this alone. So there's a lot of other things I could spend money doing. I keep telling my staff and my students, the money I'm spending here, I could be in Jamaica. And my children are not coming to the school. My grandchildren will not. So I'm literally just doing this because of who I am, where I am from, and my commitment to do things for the community. So in that sense, The history, as you said, we learn it at home. That also, this same father died when I was 4. So everything that I know about him and his family did not come from him. It came from my mother, who kept his memory alive. He was larger than life. You would think you were still living with him. Your father would be disappointed if he saw you. My father had been dead a decade ago. But she would still refer to him as the authority in our lives. Stories that I learned about his family, I learned from my mother. One of those, which I tell my students, my staff, everyone who wants to listen, is I told you my father was a geometry teacher. He didn't start out that way. He was failing math. His mother did not go to school. My father was failing math. And his non-schooled mother decided, we're not going to have this. So he was in grade 4, was in primary 4 when his mother went and bought a primary 1 book. And it was like, no, I'm like, oh no, I don't know where your problem is along this continuum. So we're going to start from scratch. So he would get back from his primary 4 school classroom, come home and do his primary 1 book. And then he finished 1, and he finished 2, and he finished 3, and he got on grade level to where people who went to government college when he was there called him FOG. His initials were FO, and then the G was for geometry.
Wow.
So but he didn't tell me this story. It's the way, again, we have communally raised kids. And uncles would tell the story, and aunties would tell the story. It is also what forms ultimately who you are.
Wow.
Because the people that came before you, and then you have a responsibility to the ones who come after you. So it's the whole package.
I love what you shared because, again, one of the things we wanted to do in this episode, because it's Black History Month, was really discover our roots and share about our roots. And I think you eloquently put it there. And man, this episode we need a part 2.
We've been blessed.
We've been truly blessed. But now, as you being able to share the past, what do you see going forward? In our final question, a closing question, what would you like to share with those in the diaspora, those who are engaging back on the continent, but also those who are just here? What are some things you'd like to share in just kind of closing remarks and thoughts?
If you're just here and you have any means whatsoever of maintaining contact with whatever other country you come from, I say do it. There is a splicing that occurs in your psyche that many people don't realize. The longer you stay away, you may think you're completely here. There is a part of you that's really not going to ever be completely up here. And if you look at the politics around us now, if we're all not reminded that is a place from which I came, then you're sleeping. For me, Nigeria is the place that I step into. I am not a minority. The next person who wants to harass me, I'm also equally able to say, hey, stop it. You understand? There is that. So if you're here, I say, if you have friends, because the day may come when you need something and then you're a stranger in your own land. For those who are trying to do things in the diaspora, at home, I say, don't give up. But also carve an area in which I know how to do this. I'll be successful at this. You may need someone to partner with or not. But ultimately, a little goes a long way. A very little goes a long way. There is wisdom you share and you thought, you mean you really didn't know that?
Yeah.
There's no, and then people are doing things in front of you and you call them and I'm saying, you know how we plan programs? The program is 2 weeks from now. We're starting planning today.
Yeah.
I've had to train my people. They're still bringing me projects that they want to implement in 2 weeks. And I pull back and I'm like, no, we ain't going to do that.
Yeah.
We're going to start preparing now. We will move it a month from now. minimally. Every single time they come back and say, "Oh my God, thank God that we didn't do it." But this is stuff I thought you should have known.
Yeah.
So a little goes a long way. So if you're here, be patient. A lot of our education, the same way, I tell you, I think I got a good education. And there were ways in which it was lacking. But I cannot dwell on how it was lacking because whatever he gave me is what gave me the wings here.
Yeah.
So I cannot just dump on this is how it was. And this is how fabulous the thing was. I got here with a bachelor's degree, and then I needed to do a master's and do certification. I said, no, please do only one certification exam at a time. It is very difficult. And I'm like, y'all don't know where I came from. So I took the general ed certification. I took the ESL certification. I passed both. And it wasn't the 3-week program that I did here that prepared me for that. It was a whole lot of the things I was referencing came out of my education in Ife. So you see, so there were things that was lacking, but what it was I got there is what gave me the wings here. So what I say to people is this: it's not the way you think it ought to be. Rome was not built in a day. Our country has had interruptions in governance. Our country has been, a lot of us are still mentally enslaved as a result of colonialism and how we view people who are lighter skinned than us. So I say, if you're here and you cannot see your way back for anything, just maintain contact, but recognize that 50 years ago, 40, however long it was that you left, it wasn't very many people that can predict who you became today. And whatever you have today somehow has its roots there. Don't abandon. Look for someone here too who has the same interest as you. And you will listen. Whatever you're doing in America may be for dollar, which is where I got to, and I said I need to just go back. You'll get money for it. Whatever you do on the continent, if it's carefully chosen, will be a legacy project. You will change lives. You will touch people. People will write the stories of their lives, and you'll be in it.
Wow. Wow. You want to close this out?
Absolutely. Just thank you so much, Dr. Oyeleye, for your sage advice and wisdom. We're so blessed because I feel like the quality of our guests is getting better and better. Yeah. And so it's like every time we go, man, I think this is the best one we have. And every time we just keep saying this is the best one. So just thank you so much. I think you're right, Festus. This probably does require a part 2 just because of just a connection to what we're doing, especially as we're going into 2026. Thank you again so much, Dr. Oyeleye, for blessing us and gracing us with your presence here today. For those of you who are listening or watching, please be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Please, we want to engage more and more with our wonderful listeners and our wonderful subscribers, especially in 2026, as we've got a lot of great things happening. Version 2 of our app is coming out. We're starting to build more and more partnerships with different communities and school districts. And so we're just really grateful to you, and we're looking forward to some wonderful things happening. Thank you again. Let's just go ahead and give us a phrase of praise.
So listen, there are legitimate excuses for not going to college. There's no legitimate excuse for not getting an education. Thank you so much for checking out this episode. If you like what you heard, do what I said. Hit the like button. If you want to hear more, hit the subscribe button. And if you know somebody who needs to hear this, hit the share button. And we will see you on the next episode.
Thank you, guys.